Alright, what's going on, guys? Gdoggcasey here, and welcome to yet another new series, but not a new game if you've been on this channel for quite a while. This is going to be a new Let's Play series, more of like a leveling series, because I already have a Let's Play of this game on this channel already, and that one focuses heavily on the story, and that one is most likely going to come back at some point. I have to admit, I still have, you know, a drive to complete that, but I just don't really have the time to get back to that one specifically right now. It's funny I say that because I'm starting a new one, but this one is going to be a little bit more focused on just the leveling process. We're going to be skipping all the story bits, and it's basically going to be almost identical to the World of Warcraft one that I have going at the same time. Now, my thoughts right now is that I'm going to pump out a couple of these episodes relatively quickly and get it caught up to the same episode as Warcraft is on, because I'd like them to sort of run side by side and see, you know, where each character is and things like that. So, World of Warcraft series is still coming, I promise you that. I'm just going to release a few of these first. Basically 2 Final Fantasy Let's Play or leveling episodes a week, until I get caught up to WoW, which is only going to take a couple weeks. So let's go ahead and just basically jump into playing already here. But we are going to be skipping all the cutscenes and focusing mostly on just the leveling aspect and just see how it compares with the World of Warcraft one. So early on in the game, let me drag this up. It's a new character, so a lot of stuff needed to be rearranged here. I tried to take care of most of that behind the scenes here, so you guys didn't have to see me go through all of that. But yeah, I've just, like, I mentioned in one of the other World of Warcraft episodes that I thought it would be pretty interesting to sort of run these 2 series beside each other and just see what it looks like, and then the more I sort of thought about that, the more I realized, actually, you know what, that's a pretty cool idea, so why don't we do that? It sort of coincided with the fact that my wife and I were getting a little bit, I don't want to say tired of WoW, because, I don't know, maybe that's what it was, though. We had been playing a lot of WoW in the background, separate from my series, of course, and it just sort of wasn't really feeling right. And that's because both of us have our hearts deep within Final Fantasy XIV. So this is definitely my game of choice over World of Warcraft. And it always will be, I think. There's pretty much no getting past that at this point, but that said, it doesn't mean World of Warcraft is a bad game at all. It's just that, you know, some people like different things. But I'm still going to continue the World of Warcraft, because like I said, I still like it. And I think it'll be very interesting to sort of bounce back and forth between the 2 of them. And essentially just, you know, just see how it plays out. So we, as you may have already noticed, we have created a character here named gdoggcasey. Very creative, of course. We are a warrior because I didn't want to be held back from the dungeons. I wanted to make sure that we can actually get into dungeons relatively quickly, so I can record these videos at a, you know, without having to wait 40 minutes to get into a dungeon. And because my other videos were a lot... Whoa, this axe is, like, right in the way. Because my, you know, my main character focuses on the paladin and tanking that way, I figured I might as well do something different and go with the warrior. Which is something that's a little bit more new to me. But at the same time, I do have some experience at this point. I've actually leveled up a couple characters, warrior, up to about level 35 or so, so I've done enough of that to have at least an idea of what to expect from the warrior here. But I've never got to max level, so eventually it'll become a learning experience, and hopefully you guys will either learn along with me or help me learn by giving me tips in the comments down below. So what we do to start is just run around and basically pick up every single quest you can and just do every single quest. And while you're at it, attune to all the shards and crystals as well. And this is what we're going to be focusing on in this sort of beginner video here, is just collecting all the shards in Limsa Lominsa, picking up all the beginner quests, and just basically clearing out the entire starting village. teaching us about the Aethernet, which we already know about. If, by the way, if I sort of speed through something that you guys have questions about, then by all means leave a comment in the comment section below, and I will get to it as soon as I can and do my best to help you out. I'm not like a Final Fantasy guru. There's definitely people who know a lot more about it than I do, but I've spent enough time in this game now that, you know, there are some things I can probably help you with. And it just so happens that I'm, you know, pretty decent at leveling up fairly quickly through the beginning section of the game. We want to get a good look at our character here. I was actually going to name this character something different. I was going to name him Moracle Crown because I actually still don't really have a legitimate character named Moracle Crown in this game. Because Creatures Crown, the initial character I started with, was supposed to be Moracle Crown, but instead became Creatures because I was playing that game alone, but my wife was hanging out with me and sort of watching. So I made the character in her name, essentially, more just to sort of get her involved. And it worked, because she fell in love with the game and ended up buying it and getting a subscription herself. Then, of course, the name that she wanted was taken by me, so that created a bit of a thing. I don't think we have to go down there. But yeah, any questions that you guys have about anything, feel free to let me know down below, and I'll do my best to help you out with the knowledge that I do have, and at the very least, maybe I can direct you to something else that will answer your question. If you want to take a quick look at my HUD layout, this is it right here. This is how I have everything laid out. If you want to copy it, you can pause the video and copy it. This was not 100% my idea. In fact, this one was basically stolen from a dude on YouTube and Twitch named Mithri. He's a pretty good Final Fantasy streamer and YouTuber who's got quite a few guides for different things out there, and I'll link to his channel down below. Actually, what I'll do is I'll link to the video in which I copied the HUD layout from, and then I just basically tweaked it a little bit to suit me rather than, you know, just little things. Like I made the hotbars a little bit smaller down here, and moved a couple different things in a couple different directions, but the base of it comes from Mithri himself. There's no shards that way. I do have quests down here, so we will go ahead and run down this way. Using sprint as often as we can, as often as we remember to. And Limsa is a beautiful city. I love it here. It's got great music. It's got great aesthetic. I imagine it smells like the sea fairly often. But it's a great place to be. Probably the one city I was most intimidated by as a new player, because of the fact that it's sort of multi-layered. It's not quite as simple as like a, you know, normal city, but you get the hang of it pretty quickly. Get used to me opening my map fairly often. It's just a habit. A lot of things, a lot of you know, a lot of nuances with my gameplay styles you'll notice as we play through this, because this series is all about me basically playing this game as though I wasn't recording, right? I'm literally just leveling this character up. So, I'm not trying to adhere to any special rules or anything like that. I'm basically just leveling up however I think is the most efficient way to do it. Okay, we do have to come down here. I think we've got all the shards on the lower level. Now we're just, and again, like I haven't, as you can see, I haven't read a single word from any of these quests. I don't even really know what I'm actually doing. I'm just running to check marks and quest rewards and trying to do it in as quick and efficient way as possible. But I'm not I'm not necessarily speedrunning either. Obviously, you know, there's going to be things I do that would really hurt a speedrun. Okay, so I guess we're just running up here. There's a way to get up to the upper decks, but I don't necessarily know the easiest way to do it from over there. There's an exit somewhere over there, but I'm more familiar with up here, so I just come up this way. And we should get to the point where we do some combat in this video. I'm almost positive we'll get there without too much of an issue. Actually do have another quest to turn in over here, so we'll do that. I've tweaked the sound settings a little bit, and I think that things will be decent, but of course I will come back and check out the video afterwards and make sure I didn't overlook something obvious, and if you guys notice something that I didn't seem to pick up on, again, feel free to let me know. Okay, I think we're done here. We did just level up. Level 2 already. Yeah, nothing else going on over here, so we can go to the upper decks and explore that section. I can't remember at the beginning if I said I started as a warrior or not. Of course, we are a marauder. I may have said warrior, because we will eventually turn into a warrior, but we did start as a marauder. And the Marauder Guild is on the upper decks of this city, so we'll be going there very soon. The one thing I noticed about this game is that there's a lot of random ambient sounds in all the different rooms that you go in. Like, I come in here, and once the music calms down, all I can hear is like this rumbling of whatever this stuff is. Oh, there we go. It's the fire there. It's pretty damn loud, but it should be okay. Those are the main things that I'm a little bit concerned about, is like when I checked the audio settings before, the sound and everything seemed good, but I didn't do any combat, so combat might be a little loud. I might have to adjust it. Did I click on you, or did I just run by you? I just ran by you. Got another quest here. We got another shard up here at the Marauders Guild that we will go collect. Again, like you can pretty much tell, I give zero shits about what the quest actually is. Just click through everything as fast as possible and just try to turn everything in. The server that I'm on is Exodus once again. The other day when I reinstalled the game and resubbed, I was creating. Me and my wife decided we would create a new character just to sort of ease our way into it. I have quite a few characters already, which is something that this game doesn't really... You don't need to have multiple characters in this game, but I just like starting fresh, you know, and it's something that I tend to do, so... but Exodus was actually accepting new characters, so I just made the character on the same server. And I can eventually see myself probably joining the same guild I was on before, but maybe not. I mean, I don't know. I'm not essentially sure. Like, this character is not really meant to be played with other characters. Like, I essentially, you know, it's just for this series, so I'm not ever going to play it off camera, unless there's, like, something that comes up that it would make more sense to do that with, something, like, incredibly grindy, but even that stuff, I don't think I will. You know, things that come to mind is when if I'm trying to get, like, the anima weapon, or if I'm trying to farm all of the hard mode dungeons so I can complete that. That stuff I'll probably just do on camera, and you guys will just get to see me go through it all. So at the moment, I can't really think of much that will have to be done off camera. I mean, I'm even thinking about doing... I just took, like, the long way around there. I recognize that. Leave me alone. How do I word this? The goal of this character, like I've said, is to level it up. and make him as powerful as possible, just like any other game. However, Final Fantasy represents an interesting option of leveling up all of these classes, right? Which is why which is a unique part of this game. I don't need to go up. And I'm thinking right now that, as funny as it is to say, the goal for this character might be to get all of his classes maxed out. And that is an incredibly ambitious goal, because that means that, like, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of episodes would have to be made in order to achieve that goal. All I'll say about that right now is that it would be wonderful to be able to do that with this character. And we might attempt it. But, like, we're talking, you know, in some of my other series, we're talking like maybe 2 or 3 years. This one, if we were to have that goal, it would be much, much longer than 2 or 3 years. So it seems like almost stupid to even say that that's the end game goal and to commit to that. So, you know, so many things in life can change before I manage to get to that point in this game with this character, but I still think it'll be fun. So, yeah, when we get this little heads up here after attuning to the shard, that means we've attuned to all the shards in the city. So now all of that is dealt with. We get access to a couple more teleport spots outside each gate of the city, so that'll help us when we need to leave to go out into the real world. But so far, we're still doing all of these little side quests. Essentially, it's just things like bring this thing over to this person, or go over here and pick up this and that. It's very simple, just sort of teaching you to explore Limsa Lominsa. In this case, it's going to teach us how to use emotes. So we will be using emotes on this this person, Roswin. She wants us to kneel, so we will kneel. I love the prelude playing in the background there. Now we're disappointed. Your sympathy ain't worth more than a pint of piss. And now we rally. These quests are all just designed to show you some of the different emotes and the different things you can do in the game for somebody who's like a complete newbie. Which, believe it or not, I was at one point. Okay. We're getting to the point here where we're about ready to round everything up. We still have a couple more places to run off to. Actually, I just used sprint, but I just realized there's a delivery Moogle here. And what I should do is grab up all the stuff that I have for being a veteran. So we'll just do this right now. A random free company invite, eh? We'll accept it for now. I'll take the leveling bonus. But any of you guys watching who are part of my old guild that I was a part of, if you want me to rejoin with this character, let me know. Find me in game. You can see my name here. I'm on the same server, so might even see you running around in the world. And I am fine to leave this guild to rejoin with my old friends. I just haven't like gone out looking. I literally just started playing this game again yesterday. So my wife and I jumped back in early yesterday. I had the day off, so we just played basically all day. And we just joined random guilds. I don't need friend requests though. I'm gonna pretend that I didn't notice that. Not to be rude or anything, I just, you know... Oh, that person's standing right beside me. Oh, this is the I've seen this group around, I'm pretty sure. Or am I just making that up? There's actually, like, nobody online right now. I'm pretty sure I've seen this group around, but maybe I could be wrong. Who knows? They're being nice to me. I'm not trying to be a big dickhead, but I join random guilds for the experience bonus, and that's it. I don't really go out of my way to make friends, you know? And I feel like a dick when I say that, but I think you guys understand. The only guild that I actually have any people that I would consider friends is the other guild, the Thamriel guild that I'm in, and I fully expect to eventually end up leaving this guild and just joining that one again, so I'm not really going to be chatting up a storm with these people. So we're going to take the lift up to the Bulwark Hall, which is basically lower decks, or down to the Bulwark Hall, lower decks. And now that we've done a bunch of running around on the second floor, we've ended up completing a bunch of quests on the main floor, so we're just going to turn all these in now. And these quests, like, I don't even know if they're worth doing, to be honest. You could probably make a case that most of these quests are not even worth doing. But to me, it's just part of the early game grind, you know? You get them all done, they take you to all the different parts of Limsa Lominsa to grab all the shards and explore the town, and I just don't really mind doing that. I don't know what it is, but I just feel sort of bad about, even being here, to be honest. So I'm actually just gonna leave the company. I feel really bad that they were trying to be nice and I just was not really responding. And now it's why is this still here? I think I've answered decline. But as soon as I accepted that, I felt like I was betraying my old guild. So instead of joining some other guild, even for the extra experience, I think I will just I will just wait until I can join my old guild again. And I'll probably see one of them running around at some point, or you guys will see this video. Uh-oh. Oh no, this person, they're part of that guild. You see what I mean? This person's following me around because I joined the guild and then I left. Oh my god, there's two of them. What? This is the exact thing I was trying to avoid. Maybe I should have just stayed in the freaking guild. Oh man. This is awkward. He's attacking me! Can I say /sorry /apologize? No, it doesn't work. Sorry, dude. I feel bad, but not that bad either, you know? I probably should have just declined right from the start. I have another family. So we're still just mopping up all these little mini side quests here, teaching us how to use items on other things in the environment so we can complete quests basically just by right-clicking and blah blah blah. Basic stuff. Bum ba-dum, bum 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 ba-dum. Okay, so are we actually done. I think we are. Everything we have to do is combat related, so we're gonna go out and do some combat now. And this is where I kind of expect the volume to potentially become a little bit of an issue, so I might have to turn down some things, but we'll find out. So what we can do is just grab any quest here and see where it wants us to be. It looks like Lower Lanosea, I believe. Well, there are some things that need to be done in Lower Lanosea, so we can come here and go to the Lower Lanosea gate, the Tempest Gate, and it'll teleport us right there. Battle. I think we're well versed in battle. Actually, I just realized too, I grabbed all that stuff. Some of my veteran rewards here, like this stupid chocobo head, I'm actually going to just, I'll wear it, because it doesn't say that it gives me anything, but it might give me a bit of an experience boost. These earrings, for sure though, are 30% experience boost when level 50 and below, and they're basically twink earrings until level 50, and I'm going to be wearing them. I'm not just not going to wear them. So those of you guys who might be following at home who don't have access to those earrings, I apologize, but there's pretty much no reason to not wear them, so I hope you can forgive me. Okay, so yeah, I mean, it does seem kind of loud, but I've already lowered things like so much. So we'll just have to deal with it here. I think it'll be okay. But we only have one skill at this point, so we're literally just running around using that one skill on everything. Until we have no more to kill. There we go. All the rats are dead. Is there anywhere else that we really want to go here? Yeah, up here. Glory days. I love one of the new Stormblood changes that they made, where you can sprint without using any TP now. So, pretty cool. So make sure you you make use of sprint, because there's no reason not to anymore. I think these are the things I need to kill. Alright, so we level up, we get a second ability. Skull Sunder, it's part of our combo. We could run up here. I can't remember if I'm going to be up there later. I think I probably will, so we're going to hold off on that for now. We're going to run back. There we go. Head back over to Limsa. But there you go, there's a little bit of combat. For those of you who are new to the game and, you know, haven't seen my older Final Fantasy videos, that's some high-quality combat right there. Tab targeting, use one ability, kill him. It's pretty good. It's going to get way more complicated as we go. One thing I have experienced, though, with Stormblood is you know, those of you veterans know that they've changed around a lot of the classes and the jobs and the different skills that they need and stuff like that. I feel like one of the biggest changes happened with the Marauder specifically, and it feels a lot easier than it was in the past. So That'll be good for us, I think. We can run on over here. There's actually another quest over there I didn't realize was there. And the goal with the side quest is to essentially do every side quest I come across until I start to significantly outlevel them. Which doesn't take that long. Probably after a couple episodes, I'll already be at that point. And then we will pretty much only focus on the main story quest. Let's go for that. The eye patch. But we're not level 5 yet, so I don't think we can even wear most of this stuff. Yeah, nothing yet. Alright, what else do we got? We do have a Marauder quest. Oh, you know what? I probably should have taken that quest before, but I didn't. I saw the blue plus, and I shied away from it because I just have my own little way. Those fireworks? Wow. Wonder what the occasion is. I have my own little way of handling the blue quests, which is to do them, but I wait until I can travel the whole world before I do them. I don't know why. It's just something that I like to do. But this one we actually need to do. And it is my fault. This is where we meet our guildmaster for the Marauder Guild. And each class has their own storyline, and they're actually pretty interesting. I think they're, you know, each class tells a very different story. There's different characters. They have character development, and the dialogue is good. So, you know, I'm skipping everything here. But if you're playing on your own the first time through, you should definitely you should read it. If you play games that way, anyway. Some people don't, and I understand that. Is this in middle as well? Oh no, it is middle. So I think all of our quests are actually in middle La Nastia now, so we should be able to get them all done here. At least a few of them, anyway. So we can put our combo to use here. We use one heavy swing into Skull Sunder, and it essentially just adds a little bit of extra damage. That's it. So if you do Skull Sunder without the combo, its potency is 100. If you do it in combo, then it doubles it up to 200. So, there's no reason to ever use Skull Sunder unless it is part of the combo like that. Whoops. And I end up killing an extra Wharf Rat for no reason. I don't know why. I like having the timer up in the top in Eorzea time now. It's just another little stupid thing. You know, like when you play games that you've been playing for a long time, you just sort of have your own little tendencies and your own little rules that you set for yourself because it's just comfortable for you, and that's just one of those things. I like it when it's on Eorzea time. I have a clock right on my wall right over there, so I don't need the real time in game. Just a couple more lambs left to slaughter. These adorable little things. So there is a quest to actually come up to Summerford Farms, and there's a Aetheryte Crystal to attune to up there, so that's good. It's going to help us teleport around the world. So yeah, like, and again, I know that there's a chance that some of you guys might be new to the game and just trying to figure things out, see whether or not you like it, see if it resonates with you at all. And I hope it does, because I think Final Fantasy XIV, in my opinion, is the best MMO out of all of them. However, there are some things that are a little bit confusing for new players, and hopefully I can help you out if you have any questions about that. One of the things you might not be aware of, because it's different from World of Warcraft, is that there are these crystals throughout the world called, I think they're called aetheryte crystals, and you can see them fairly easily in the certain towns that have them. Not every town has them, but most of the time a zone will have them, and sometimes a zone will have multiple. In this zone we only have this one here. Once you attune to them, you can actually teleport to them for a price, and you can set them as your favorite so that you get a discount on the price. And if you set it as your home, then when you use the return spell, it will return you to that crystal. But right now the home crystal is in Limsa, and that's totally fine. But here's the crystal here, you attune to it, and now I can teleport to this crystal. It is aetheryte whenever I want. Now, the quest symbol that has this sort of flame around it, it looks a little bit special. You can see it over here, and obviously right here in front of us. This is the main story quest. These quests actually need to be completed in order to advance the game. And some WoW players might not like that. One of the things in World of Warcraft is you can basically go wherever you want, whenever you want, as long as you don't get killed. And if you're able to, you know, defeat the enemies in that area, then you can go there. In this game, you can go to the areas, although some of them may be blocked off by story elements, but you'll never be able to advance the plot and get to certain areas without actually doing the entire main story. And some people really don't like that. It's a very big difference between World of Warcraft and Final Fantasy. And I'll admit, at times, I was literally gonna say it becomes cumbersome. And there's a cumbersome rock right here. It can be cumbersome because it's very, very grindy. But the main story itself is good enough most of the time that I don't have a problem with it. And it's just a different way to play the game, right? So we're in this game's world, so we follow its rules. And we do the main story quest. But eventually, like after a couple episodes, we're going to get to the point where we are essentially only doing the main story quest. Now we're picking up these ripe oranges. This is part of some other quest. Whoops. I started off with Skull Sunder there by accident, and you can see that it did like almost no damage. But when you do it when it's part of the combo, it does basically exactly double, so it's worth it. Not every ripe orange will drop a mob. But some of them do. Just to give you an excuse to do more combat. I think we've got them all done. Looks like it, so we're gonna run up here. Turn them in. It looks like we've completed basically every quest we have. but you can almost always be given more. Now, this quest is red. I just realized here. He wants us to show ourselves for inspection. He wants us to make sure we're wearing decent gear. So if we do this, it makes him happy, and now he thinks we're wearing gear that's, you know, good enough to go out and do battle. So we can make our headgear visible again. That chocobo head just bothers the hell out of me, but for the most part, we'll show our helmet. So there we go. He inspects our gear, and he's going to give us a new weapon, which we can then equip. And we learned Berserk very early now. That's interesting. So we'll go ahead and throw Berserk on our buff bar. And Berserk now, so in the past, Berserk would actually make you tired, and you wouldn't be able to use any abilities once it ran out. But it doesn't do that anymore. There's literally zero downside to using Berserk on cooldown, essentially. Obviously, you know, if you're 2 hits away from killing an enemy and you're going to be fighting another enemy shortly after, maybe you should wait. Use it at the beginning of a fight rather than at the end, of course, but besides that, like, that's just common sense. For the most part, there's no penalties to using it all the time. So don't forget about it. In this game, your buffs are pretty important, so we'll use it right here. And it will help us deal with these hatchlings a little bit better. Okay. Done with that, nice and quick. So now we gotta run back though. Well, not one. There's a couple of things that, you know, people might have legitimate complaints about with Final Fantasy XIV. One of them is the constant running around. There is more running around in this game than I think probably any other game. And it's not always like actually the act of running from point to point either. You'll teleport all over the world. Like, you'll talk to one person in Limsa and she'll be like, oh, you know, this person over in Ul'dah bothered me, so I want you to go talk to him and let him know. So you teleport all the way over to Ul'dah, get that done, and then come back just for like a quest, you know? And you'll see, it'll have us doing that quite a bit. Alright, well, we got a fate here, so why don't we do a fate? Again, for those of you new to the Final Fantasy world, fates are basically these quests that just sort of come up throughout the world, and you can do them or you don't have to do them. You can run by them and it's not going to affect you too badly. It won't affect you at all, actually. Occasionally you'll get a quest to do a fate, but not very often at all. But they're good ways to boost up your experience. There we go. It's not a ton, but early on, that's actually pretty significant. And it'll get more and more significant as we go. Okay, so everything has us coming back to La Nacia. So we're just going to use, or not La Nacia, sorry, but Limsa Lominsa. So we're going to use return to just go ahead and teleport back. Return doesn't cost you anything, but it is on a cooldown. I think it's 30 minutes. It's basically a Hearthstone. However long 900 seconds is. Alright, what do we got around here? It looks like everything is on the upper decks. So we'll go to the upper decks. And we'll just start turning everything in. We're grabbing the Disciple of War stuff, so you'll notice that underneath the item level there, it says Disciple of War. This says all classes, and this is just money that you can take if you want, but we need the gear. Because we're a Marauder, we are a Disciple of War. So any gear that's labeled as Disciple of War is what we're going to take. But eventually, we're going to start taking tanking gear. And that will separate us from the other Disciples of War. Classes like the... or jobs like the Monk and the Ninja. Those ones specifically will continue picking up Disciple of War gear throughout the whole game, I think. That's actually something I might be wrong about, but I might not be wrong about it either. It's also not very important at all, so... one of the bad habits I have is to start explaining something that doesn't necessarily need to be explained, and then I realize halfway through and I'm like, well, you know, I might actually just be making it more complicated than it needs to be, so don't worry about it. As a tank, you want to pick up everything that just gives you vitality. Anything else to turn in here? Well, they want us to go to Lower La Nacia and come over here. And where do you want me to go? In Middle La Nacia. Well, let's go to Lower and turn in this quest. We did just pick up another class quest, and that's something that probably does warrant at least some sort of explanation. Every 5th level, your class guildmaster will have a quest for you. And you will want to come back and do them almost as soon as possible. You don't necessarily need to, but it's a good idea because when you complete that quest, they're going to give you some pretty good gear as an option, or as a reward, including a new weapon almost every time. More of those. So it's worth doing, and also sometimes you will be given an actual ability. So every 5th level, go back to your guildmaster and see if they have a quest for you. So the icons that were over those enemies are hunting log enemies that you need to kill to fill out your hunting log. And if you push H, you can bring up your hunting log, and it'll show you all the different ones you need to kill for each level. And as you level up, you'll unlock the options to kill all these other ones. So keep an eye out for those. They look like little ears on top of the enemies. I think these Aurelia ones have them. Yeah. So, I don't know. That looks like an ear to me. You might have a different explanation for what it looks like. But these guys you want to kill as well, because when you kill enough for your hunting log, you get a nice chunk of experience for it. So, you might as well kill them. There we go. So we will be stopping what we're doing in order to kill enemies on our hunting log. For sure. Alright, so we're in a bit of a weird spot here because in lower or in Limsa Lominsa, the starting zone, you have a couple different options to go out into the world. You can come to lower La Noscea or middle La Noscea, and both of them have quests for you early on. So I'm feeling a little bit split between the two of them, to be honest, but it's not the end of the world. We'll just do the quest for wherever we are, and then we'll just go to middle La Noscea later. I'm not interested in doing this fate by myself, so we're gonna go ahead and just skedaddle out of there. See, I run by these areas, and it's like this waterfall, the rushing water just sounds pretty loud in my headphones, but it should be okay. Alright, and Krita, we have done your job for you, as usual. In the early game... Oh, we got these wild dodos, so let's take care of these. In the early game, Final Fantasy really treats you like somebody whose sole purpose is to just do everybody else's work for them. If you read all these quests, it's all about like, oh, I just want, you know, my boss wanted me to do this and I don't like doing it, so can you do it for me? And sometimes they have a little bit more of a legitimate reason to ask you, but it still just kind of feels like that, like all the time. Alright, another piece of our hunting log completed. Now we're running into this little city. See, this is a city that's an example of a city that does not have an aetheryte shard with it. This quest is all about showing you the housing area, and we will complete it just to get it off of our quest log. The housing area in Limsa is actually pretty nice, but I've never owned a house in this area. Oh yeah, we gotta look for dodos around here, don't we? Or is that the other... Oh yeah, no, that's not this area. That's a different area. Again, I don't really know exactly what I'm doing here. I'm just talking to people. Oh, they want us to comb the sheep, eh? With lice. A lice comb. We're looking for lice. That sheep looks relieved. How about you? Do you have lice? I bet you do. You don't? Wow. Well done. I could have sworn that there was going to be like an enemy that jumped out of those sheep, but I guess not. We are rapidly approaching the end of this episode here. I have decided to make these episodes about an hour long. Otherwise, there's just not going to be enough time to really get anything done. 30 minutes is like a okay amount of time, but when we have to start doing dungeons, some of the dungeons are going to take longer than 30 minutes. So, you know, I figured, how about an hour? An hour sounds about good. My voice, my throat will protest from time to time. I've been really noticing that on these longer episodes where I'm actually talking more often, that my throat really starts to hurt by the end, and that's something that I hope will just improve as I do it more. So you guys might hear me mute the mic. Like, you can't hear me mute the mic, but some weird thing about this mic is that... Oh, and we are capturing dodos, so I was kind of right about that. We just have to find them. But some weird feature this mic has is, like, if I mute it, you shouldn't be able to hear me hit the mute button. But then when I unmute it, it makes this, like, thunking sound, and it's like, okay, well, thanks, now everybody knows that I had to mute my mic. It sort of defeats the purpose of muting it, in my opinion. I wish there was a better option. There is other options. I could mute my mic in OBS, but then I have to alt-tab and come over and then... see, mute it that way, but it's way less seamless. Alright, where's this bolting dodo? There it is. Okay, so the one quest that we did pick up here, the blue quest, was to try and locate the housing district. So we talked to this person. The housing district is literally right here. It's called the Mist. And we just go to any ward. And just let them know that we've been here. Again, it's just another one of those quests that taking you to different areas of the game that you might not have known they were there if you're a new player. So that's exactly what we're doing. So this is the residential area in Lanasia. There's one in Ulda, there's one in Gridania, and there's one in Kogane. That's all we have to do. Talk to that person. More fireworks here. I wonder if there's like an actual something happening that I just don't know about. Or if there's always fireworks, because that could be the case as well. I don't think so, though. So we're gonna leave. Bum, bum. Bum, bum, bum. And things have been a little bit disoriented because I've been sort of just running all over the place doing all sorts of different quests. I see these enemies that need to die for my hunting log, so I'm gonna kill them. But this is gonna take us to the end of the episode, so... You know, guys, as I usually say when I'm starting a new series, episode 1, these are the videos that I actually don't mind asking you to hit the like button if you did enjoy, and leave comments down below on what you think about the idea of this series. And again, as I said before, if you have questions, feel free to ask. Episode 1s are always the most interesting ones to put out because they tend to get the most views, but it's not really about the views in this case. It's more about the interaction with you guys. Like, you can let me know what you think, and I can implement some of your ideas if, you know, if that's something that needs to happen. But also, just, it's exciting starting a new series, and especially a new leveling series that could potentially kick off to be a really amazing series for my channel. I know you guys love the Final Fantasy stuff here, and, you know, I've taken a couple steps back from it in the past, and almost immediately noticed the backlash. And it's not backlash like I get a lot of hate or anything like that, not at all. but the views just, they don't carry over one-to-one to some of the other series I do, and that's totally understandable. But it lets me know that I need to have at least some sort of Final Fantasy XIV content going on the channel at all times, because that's what you guys really like, and I need to be able to provide that for you guys. So, that said, that is going to do it for this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed. I really appreciate you leaving comments below and hitting that like button, or the dislike button if you want. It makes no difference to me, you know, if that's what you want to do. It's a free country and all that, free world on YouTube, so you can do whatever you'd like. I find myself in a pretty awkward spot to end the episode, actually, because what I really want to do is actually just return, and that's what I'm going to do, because we're going to make sure we are logged off in Limsa Lominsa. We will return here to finish up this mess of side quests that we got to do. But again, guys, thank you very much. I love you all, and we will see you next time. As soon as we load here. Awkward ending for the win. There we are. Alright, that's actually going to do it now. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next time.